February is National Cancer Prevention Awareness Month. The reality, most cancers aren't genetic. They're linked to lifestyle, environmental factors. That means prevention matters. The Wellness Company is focused on giving Americans trusted medical guidance and practical alternatives with doctors you know, like Peter McAuliffe. Dr. Peter McAuliffe joins us now. He's the Chief Scientific Officer for the Wellness Center. Doctor, most cancers aren't genetic. They're lifestyle driven. It's choices you make every day. What does that mean for everyday Americans watching us right now that they could take a step?
Well, you're right. Lifestyle factors have a big influence. There are genetic underpinnings for some cancers, for instance, colon cancer being a big one. Our national cancer statistics now show in 2021, 2022, colon cancer has emerged as the leading killer for individuals under age 50. So there's a genetic underpinning. Of course, genetics don't change that rapidly, so it must be environmental factors. And there we have, data suggesting diets. There are diets that are relatively pro-cancer and diets that are anti-cancer. And so what we want to do at the Wellness Company is orient diets so they're rich in the cancer-fighting medicinal culinary herbs, and we use various forms of supplements, including the Shield system.
Yeah, and you look at also alcohol is one of those factors in smoking. I mean, obviously, I don't think of any health benefit from smoking, obviously, but those are two things that you can control as well.
That's true. You know, our former Surgeon General had it right, where alcohol was listed now as a cancer-causing substance. And I've been following the data. You know, alcohol consumption in the United States is plummeting. It's plummeting. People are drinking less. Alcohol is related to the upper throat and esophageal gastric cancers. Smoking, of course, related to the head and neck cancers, as well as lung cancer. Smoking, when we were kids, smoking was about 50% of the U.S. population. Now it's somewhere around 17% or lower. But clearly, reducing these cancer risks reduces cancer, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing. All right. So what are some of the environmental exposures that people should be paying attention to?
Yeah, I think for sure for skin cancer, it's really the sunlight, the ionizing forms of energy that we get through sunlight. That is for sure. There are certain chemicals that individuals are exposed to. You may have heard recently about glyphosate. That's Roundup that has, at least epidemiologically, been linked to lymphoma. There are exposures that people can have in the workplace. We try to minimize them through diet. You know, the biggest exposures are charbroiled meat. That is linked to colon cancer. So,
I didn't know that.
Besides eliminating these environmental exposures, we want to orient ourselves to an anti-cancer diet. So that's a diet that's rich in what's called cruciferous vegetables: kale, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, and then, of course, nutraceuticals and supplements, which we're working on at the Wellness Company.
All right, because when you look at kind of like where the cancer rates were back in the 1950s compared to now, I'd imagine it's completely spiked. But are there natural compounds with strong evidence for prevention? I mean, there are things that you can take to prevent that.
Well, yeah, you're right. Cancer's on the way up, partly due to screening and detection. And I'm greatly concerned about emerging data that both SARS-CoV-2 infection and COVID-19 vaccination may actually increase cancer, both of them. And it's because both contribute the spike protein from the virus to the body that drops our defense systems against cancer. And that's what we're trying to do with products like Shield that has various forms of extracts from mushrooms and oregano leaf and others, the medicinal and culinary herbs that we can boost our own cancer defense systems. And Shield is taken 3 times a day, and there's also a drink. Many of my cancer patients are doing this. I think it's wise. In total, when we start to combine nearly a dozen active botanicals, we can move the needle in terms of reducing cancer recurrence.
Now, I told you this before we came on. I said, Dr. McAuliffe, you're saving lives. You're doing God's work right now. Viewers, right now, put that information up for Shield again if we can in the studio one more time. I want you to go to the website. Dr. Peter McAuliffe, what is the best source website for people to go to and get this stuff? Because if you got loved ones in your life, you want them to live as long as they possibly can. They may not have the best habits on eating and drinking and smoking, but if they take this, it at least gives them a little bit of advantage.
Oh, for sure. You can take it further. Wellness Company also has ivermectin mebendazole combination, which is now active in clinical trials. It's used off-label for cancer treatment. So go to twc.health/RAV10, and then you get your discount there. Sign up as a member for the Wellness Company. Get this information every day. We formed the company through the pandemic to provide solutions where the government and the medical orthodoxy is not, and boy, we're delivering.
I'm so glad you're doing that. Dr. Peter McAuliffe, thank you so much for joining us this morning.